Hey guys, Cooney here. Normally you find me over on Twitch playing video games with you guys, but today I'm welcoming you to my kitchen where we are going to be making coconut macaroons. So get your apron on and let's get to it. Let's get started by gathering and measuring out all the ingredients we're going to need to make the macaroons so they'll be ready when we need them. 14 ounces of sweet coconut flakes, 3/4 cup sweet condensed milk. A standard can is 14 ounces, so you will have leftovers. 2 tablespoons of sifted pastry flour or rice flour, and 1 teaspoon of your preferred extract. In this case, we are using vanilla extract. However, almond extract is also another fantastic option. 2 egg whites. If you are going to be making a large batch of macaroons, I would suggest purchasing a carton of just egg whites. The carton will state how many tablespoons is 1 egg white. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Approximately 5 ounces of your preferred chocolate chopped into pieces. This can be either milk chocolate, white chocolate, or even dark chocolate. So first thing you want to do is ensure that the rack in your oven is set to the middle. And then you want to go ahead and preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This will allow the macaroons to slowly toast to a nice golden brown on the tops and bottoms without actually burning them. With the oven now preheating, you do need to decide whether you would like to keep the coconut as whole flakes or ground them down in a food processor. The difference will basically be the texture of the macaroon when it is done baking. In this case, I am going to ground it down in the food processor for 1 minute, and this will basically give us a fluffier texture inside the macaroon. All right, and now you notice that the coconut is more of a fine powdery consistency. So what you'll want to do now is go ahead and grab your 3/4 cup of sweet condensed milk and pour that right into the food processor with the ground down coconut. Okay, now go ahead, set that aside and grab the 2 tablespoons of either pastry flour or rice flour and shake that right in. And then add your teaspoon of extract. As I've said, we are going to be using vanilla extract. However, almond extract, mint extract, whatever flavor you prefer is fine as well. Gap it. And this time you're just going to go ahead and mix it until it's well combined. Go ahead to get a processor and put it into our bowl. And of course, be careful of the blade in the middle. you have now is basically a kind of coconut paste. That will make some lovely macaroons. All right, with your coconut mixture done, you want to set that aside and grab either your countertop mixer or your electric hand mixer if you have one, as that will make it much easier to beat the eggs into a stiff peak. If you don't have either of these, you can use a standard whisk. It will just take a bit of time to get there. So go ahead and make sure you have the whisk attachment on your stand mixer or your hand mixer. Get your bowl locked into place if need be. Pour your eggs in. Add the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Lower, always lock it in place. And you're gonna turn it up to, depending on how fast your personal mixer is, mine would be just 1 up from midway. Give it a quick check, and almost there, just about. And that should do it right there. You'll notice that when I took the whisk attachment out, that the egg whites kept a peak on them and did not just tip over. If I can get it in the right light. Did not just form back into the rest of the eggs. So you are set now. With your egg now at a stiff peak, you want to gently fold them into the coconut mixture. And the reason you want to do so gently is so that you do not lose the air that you have just incorporated into the eggs. It should slide out quite nicely. Side. And you just literally fold. Start at one side, up and tuck it. Do it. Nice and gently, egg whites, gently folded into the coconut mixture. All right, now it's time to actually form the macaroons. You're gonna wanna start by covering a baking sheet with a sheet of parchment paper. And I personally like to use a 1 tablespoon scoop. This tends to make sure that they're all fairly uniform in size. Okay, so you want to do, take your scoop, scoop some out, and just sort of plop it right there onto the parchment paper. And you can get about, say, 12 to 14 on here. Let's go ahead and just do 1 scoop at a time. Now for these macaroons, I actually want to fill them with a disc of chocolate, just a little bit of chocolate inside as well instead of just on top. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to basically flatten out these the bases of your macaroons. So to do that, you just sort of push your thumb in, kind of easy to hold down the parchment paper at the same time. Kind of just push them down in the center. Okay, now go ahead and add 1, 2 pieces, whatever you prefer, into the middle. I'm just gonna do 1. And you can use whatever chocolate you prefer. This is Ghirardelli melting chocolate because I'm also gonna be using this later on. We're gonna melt some down and dip the macaroons in them. But whatever chocolate is your preferred chocolate is fine. Just be aware that after putting it in the center, that chocolate will, once it cools, it will go back to its shape. So it won't be gooey inside once they are cooled. So if you're looking for a gooey center, you may want to just put it for a few seconds in the microwave just to heat it back up again to get a gooey center. Okay. Now you want to finish them off by adding the dome, which is another tablespoon of the coconut mixture on top. Now that they are topped, they kind of look like mashed potatoes. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just sort of smooth out the sides to kind of trap in the chocolate so it does not melt out of it, and also it'll have a nice solid shape to it. So again, you're just going to want to go kind of push them down around the sides. Again, does not need to be perfect. At least mine don't. I'm not a perfectionist, so sometimes. Okay. Now they are actually ready to go into the oven. I've already had it preset at 300 since we started. Open that bad boy up. Slide them on in. So depending on your oven, these will need to bake for about 25 to 35 minutes. I always set mine under so I can come and check to make sure. So I will be setting mine at 20 minutes. And I'll come back and check them to see if they are ready. If not, I'll add usually 2 to 5 more minutes depending upon their current color, because we want them. Okay, so today they ended up going in for about 27 minutes. And I just pulled them out of the oven, so all you want to do is hold on to your tray and pull them off. Doing so will prevent the bottoms of the macaroons from continuing to cook. So the next thing you need to do now is actually melt the chocolate. I'm just going to go ahead and do it in the microwave. You can also do this in the oven. Like I said, I am using the Ghirardelli milk chocolate melting wafers. You can also use dark chocolate. You can use white chocolate. You can use whatever chocolate is your preferred brand and flavor. This is what the Ghirardelli melting wafers look like. You just pour them in, pop them into the microwave, and you need to do this only you only want to do this for a few seconds, take them out, stir them. Few seconds, take them out, stir them. That is to allow the chocolate to melt, but not burn. If you leave them in there for like a minute to try and melt everything all at once, you will actually burn the chocolate. And once the chocolate is burned, you will not be able to get that taste out of all of the other wafers. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these into the microwave for probably like just 20 seconds, and then I'll take them out and stir them. As you can see, it's only melted just a little bit, but this is how you need to do it. If you're going to use the microwave, you need to do it in this slow fashion, just so you don't accidentally burn the chocolate. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this back in for another 20 seconds. 20 seconds later, and now as you can see, all of the chocolate has been basically melted down. There are a few wafers left, however, the rest of the hot chocolate will actually melt them down. You do not need to go back into the microwave to complete melting. It is now ready to go. Okay, so in order to dip them, all you want to do is pick up one of your macaroons. You can either choose to dip the top, the bottom, or half them. You can drizzle them, whatever is your preference. Today I'm actually going to do the bottoms of them. So just take your chocolate, dip the bottom of the macaroon in it, let it sit there for a sec, pick it up, okay, and then set it hopefully upside down. So it won't, there we go. All right, and then just grab the next one and do the same. Okay. Now all the macaroons have been chocolate dipped. And now all that's left to do is let the chocolate set. Right now it does have a shiny finish, but when dry it will have a dull finish and no longer be tacky to the touch. The dull finish is because I opted to melt the chocolate in the microwave instead of tempering on the stove with a pot and heat safe bowl. The drying time will vary due to your home's temperature, so I'm going to check them in about an hour and see where they are. So it did take a good while for the chocolate on our macaroons to fully set, but as you can see, it is fully dry and no longer tacky, but still nice golden brown on top. Let's go ahead and cut one open and see how these beauties taste. As you can see, nice soft on the inside. Got that little special surprise chocolate as well. Let's give them a taste. Very nice. They have a nice light crunch on the outside, but not crunchy. And they're very nice and soft on the inside, very fluffy. You get that nice, smooth taste of chocolate. Freaking delicious. Enjoy, guys.